Hello and welcome to Unacademy. I'm Prashasti Arora, and today we will talk about Nifty and Sensex. We'll talk about how exactly does the Bombay Stock Exchange function, what type of companies are listed, and how does exactly Sensex, upward and downward trend function in the context of the global affairs that happen. So we will understand the entire process in this lecture. Before that, a little bit about myself before we go ahead with the lecture. I've done journalism and I enjoy delving deep into current affairs and current events. You can also follow my Modern Indian History series, summarized series of modern Indian history on the Core Sevi YouTube channel. In fact, I also covered fundamentals of Indian polity on the Unacademy platform, so you can follow my series there. बहुत ही simple way में मैंने चीज़ें explain करी हैं, and you can avail now a 10% discount by using the code PRAS10. In fact, you can follow me on my Telegram channel, which will which will help you get access to my schedule of the classes and exactly how and when I take the classes. So please do have a look at that as well. Now we will be discussing what exactly are shares, stock exchanges, Sensex. We'll talk about how exactly do they work. Then we'll talk about why has Sensex maintained an upper trend despite a slump in economic activities in the past. Of course, now the economy is recovering, but let's see why Sensex has maintained an upward trend. Then we'll talk about what does this exactly mean for India and for the world in general. Before that, a bit about the iconic price hike. If you've not upgraded from the plus to the iconic subscription, please do that right away, because these are the kind of benefits you'll get from connecting with your personal coach, to means test series with evaluation, to customization of your study planner, to attending study booster sessions, to being part of high intensity workshops, to practicing answer writing daily, and acceleration of your preparation with daily content. These are just some of the benefits that you will get from the iconic subscription. So to avoid the price hike, please upgrade to it right away. Also, the new batches for UPSC 2021, 2022 and 2023 will be starting from today. So please do enroll for the same, for which the link has been given in the description. And there'll be prelims syllabus coverage, there'll be top educators on one platform, there'll be prelims test series with analysis, there'll be PDF study material, there'll be dedicated doubt clearing sessions, and there will be interview preparations as well. So do enroll for the batch you think is best suitable for you. There's Mission 2021, there's Laksh 2021, there is Expedition 2021, and similar way there is 2022, 2020, Lux 2022, then there's Expedition 2022. So see which is best suited for your preparations and enroll for the same. And also, you can now get a combo offer for the plus and iconic subscription. Just use the code PRAS10. Now let's talk about the introduction to this entire lesson. See, what you have to understand is that despite an overall slump in the economic activities, there has been an uptick in the Bombay Stock Exchange. Now, what are the factors? Which factors have led to this uptick in the Bombay Stock Exchange? The three major factors that have led to an increase in the have led to the upward trend in the Bombay Stock Exchange is, first, the fact that the rate of there is a higher rate of interest for the investors, and which is why the investors are investing more, and in fact more companies are investing in India. And in fact, private consumption is low, and because of that, because of the fact that private consumption is low, people are investing more in the stock exchange, and these are some of the reasons that have led to an uptick in the Bombay Stock Exchange. What we also have to understand here is that every change in administration, for example, when Joe Biden won the presidential elections, who's all slated to take the oath of office in this month, that time also, Sensex really showed an upward trend. So of course all the other factors, for example the UK strain that had come in, that was also one of the reasons as to that also impacted the Bombay Stock Exchange. So we'll understand how exactly does this function. Right now, remember that companies are of different kinds around the world. They could either be sole proprietorships, then there could be partnerships, or they could be public listed companies. Now, of course, as the name suggests, sole proprietorships are those companies where an single individual invests the capital into the company and is the full owner of the company. Right? He's the sole proprietor of the company. Now, of course, in case of partnerships, there could be two or more individuals who invest the capital, and the ownership patterns are normally decided in accordance with the partnership agreement as per the Indian Partnership Act and or the Indian Contract Act. So under these two acts, the companies could be in there could be two or more individuals who could invest in the capital and the ownership patterns. Now, talking about public listed companies, these are those companies in which the general public owns a part of the stakes of the company and are generally considered to be limited owners, in the sense that they own a part of the company and the percentage of the shares they hold. Now, remember that these public listed companies, are normally listed in the stock exchanges around the world. Now, the price of these shares after the initial public offer is decided by the demand and supply amongst the shareholders. Now, how exactly does this work? In the stock exchange, for example, an individual normally sees the company name and its price that is associated with it. For example, imagine that there is company A which is listed at 250 rupees, which means that the single price, the price of a single share in the company can be purchased at rupees 250. Now, remember that there are about 25 to 30 stock exchanges across India, and the major ones include Bombay Stock Exchange and the Nifty. And we know that Bombay is the financial capital of India. Now, Sensex is the average price of shares of 30 top companies. Please remember, it is the average price of shares, of these 30 top companies, and the price of these shares fall and rise frequently. So the nature of Sensex is very very volatile, and the market crashing and showing an upward trend is very very common and in the market. Now, this trade is regulated by who? This trade is regulated by Security Exchanges Board of India, SEBI. Now, what does this exactly mean for the individual investors? Now, remember that India is generally seen to be a steady market for the foreign institutional investors, and the returns are very very promising. And even in this regard, India is doing well compared to other economies around the globe. And despite the recent coronavirus crisis, we saw that. The Bombay Stock Exchange had crashed to 24,000 from 40,000 points in March. But of course, it has recovered fully, and especially with the signs of recovery in the economy and various sectors picking up, and of course, the recent uptick in the economic activities has contributed to a uptick in the Sensex. Now, also the fact is that let's see how the US presidential election saw the victory of, how that affected. How the new presidency affected the Bombay Stock Exchange. Now, Joe Biden is seen to be a non-conformist, unlike Trump, who pulled out of the economic deals and ensured the chaos prevailed everywhere. In fact, companies and the capital look at peace so that commerce can prevail. And in that regard, this is the logic behind the Bombay Stock Exchange giving a thumbs up to Joe Biden when the presidential elections concluded. There was a sudden uptick in the market, and it was because of this, which is why I said in the start also that any activity, any particular change in administration, any policy change will impact the Bombay Stock Exchange. Now, shares of companies are bought and sold by investors, which is generally done through stock market agents, and they look to make a lot of profits. In fact, the profits made out of these proceeds attracts the capital gains tax of the government of India. Please remember, it attracts the capital gains tax. Now, it is of course tough to arrive to conclusions whether the markets that are operating are doing it on sound economic logic, or they're doing it on impulsive decisions. But of course, that is very, very difficult to predict. Now, what does this exactly mean for India and the world? The prices in the stock exchange can be used to gauge the mood of the investors. It can, we can understand how much the investors want to invest, and in that regard, it can be seen, it can show us the level of economic activity in the nation. Now, when I say, the private consumption is low, and which is why it is impacting Sensex, and Sensex is showing an upward trend. It means that because private consumption is low, people are not consuming as much as they used to. They're investing in the Bombay Stock Exchange, and that is why BSE is seeing in an upward trajectory. If you have any doubt related to the topic that I'm teaching, you can ask me in the comment section. Now, which is why sustained increase in the Sensex can be good news for the investors who will end up eventually investing more. This will also, in fact, impact the foreign investments into India, most likely the foreign institutional investors. Now, you might have seen in the newspapers that said stock markets are either, stock markets are right now, bullish, which means that they're performing well, or burkish, which means they might fall, that they're falling. So this was about the general idea of Sensex and Nifty. आपको कभी ना कभी ये न्यूज़ पे पढ़ के एकदम से क्लिक हुआ होगा कि how does this exactly work. So this is the entire explanation for that. This is it from my side. See you next time. Please do subscribe to Unacademy to avail the other benefits. This is it from my side.